You know, there comes a time in life when you walk through your home and suddenly realize it feels bigger than it used to. The rooms that once echoed with laughter and the hustle of daily life now seem a little too quiet, a little too empty. And if you're like many of us over 60, you might start wondering, do I really need all this space? The truth is, downsizing isn't just about moving to a smaller place. It's about freeing yourself from the weight of unnecessary things, simplifying your life, and even, believe it or not, protecting your health and happiness in ways you might not expect. Studies have shown that clutter and the stress of maintaining a large home can take a real toll on our well-being as we age. But when done right, downsizing can feel like a breath of fresh air, like stepping into a new chapter that's lighter, easier, and full of possibility. So today, I want to talk about why downsizing after 60 could be one of the best decisions you ever make, and how to do it in a way that feels stress-free, even rewarding. We'll go through 5 simple steps to make the process smooth and maybe even enjoyable. And don't worry, this isn't about rushing you or telling you to get rid of everything you love. It's about making choices that serve you and the life you want to live now. Let's start with the first step, and this one is all about mindset. Before you even think about packing a single box, it's important to ask yourself, why do I want to downsize? Maybe it's because the stairs are getting harder to climb, or because cleaning feels like a never-ending chore. Maybe it's the thought of freeing up time and money for travel, hobbies, or just peace of mind. Whatever your reason, getting clear on it will make every decision that follows so much easier. Think of it this way. When you know why you're doing something, the how becomes simpler. And if you're feeling hesitant, that's completely normal. Letting go of a home full of memories isn't easy. But here's something to consider. Your memories aren't in the walls or the furniture. They're in you. And a smaller space doesn't mean losing those cherished moments. It just means making room for new ones. Now, once you've settled on your why, the next step is to start small. I know it's tempting to dive in and try to tackle the whole house at once, but that's a surefire way to feel overwhelmed. Instead, pick one area, a drawer, a closet, or even just a shelf, and begin there. Ask yourself, do I use this? Does it bring me joy? If the answer is no, it might be time to let it go. And here's a little secret. You don't have to do it all alone. Enlist the help of a family member or a friend whose judgment you trust. Sometimes, an outside perspective can make it easier to part with things we've held onto out of habit. Plus, it can turn what feels like a chore into a chance to share stories and laughter along the way. Now, as you start sorting through your belongings, you'll likely come across items that carry a lot of emotion. Old photos, heirlooms, gifts from loved ones. This is where kindness to yourself matters most. You don't have to make snap decisions about these things. Set them aside and come back to them when you're ready. Remember, downsizing isn't about loss. It's about curating a life that feels right for you now. And that brings us to the next step, envisioning your new space. Whether you're moving to a cozy apartment, a retirement community, or even just decluttering your current home, take a moment to imagine how you want it to feel. Picture mornings with less to clean, evenings with more time to relax, and a home that supports the life you want to lead. That vision will be your compass, guiding you through the tougher choices. Now, I know this is a lot to take in, and we've only just begun. But trust me, taking these first steps with intention and care will make all the difference. And when you're ready, we'll move on to the next part of the process. How to decide what stays, what goes, and how to make the transition as smooth as possible. Because downsizing shouldn't feel like an ending. It should feel like a new beginning. Now that you've started the process, clarifying your why, taking those first small steps and envisioning your new space. It's time to talk about the next phase, making those bigger decisions. This is where a lot of folks get stuck, and I get it. Letting go of things we've held on to for years, even decades, can feel like letting go of pieces of ourselves. But here's the thing. You're not losing anything. You're choosing. You're choosing what truly matters to you now, and that's a powerful thing. So, let's begin with the practical side of downsizing, deciding what stays and what goes. A good rule of thumb is to ask yourself 3 questions about each item. Have I used this in the past year? Does it serve a purpose in my life today? Does it bring me joy? If the answer to all 3 is no, it might be time to say goodbye. But if you're hesitating, if there's an item you haven't used but just can't part with, that's okay. Give yourself permission to keep a few of those sentimental pieces. Downsizing isn't about deprivation, it's about balance. Now, what do you do with the things you're ready to let go of? This is where it gets interesting, because you've got options. You could sell them. Online marketplaces, consignment shops, or even a good old-fashioned yard sale can turn clutter into cash. Or, if you'd rather not deal with the hassle, donating is a wonderful alternative. Knowing that your belongings will go to someone who needs them can make parting with them so much easier. And for those family heirlooms or special items, consider passing them on to loved ones now rather than waiting. It's a beautiful way to share stories and see those treasures appreciated while you're still around to enjoy the moment. But here's a tip that might surprise you. Don't rush. Downsizing isn't a race. If you're feeling overwhelmed, take a break. This is a big life change, and it's okay to move at your own pace. In fact, spreading the process out over weeks or even months can make it feel far less stressful. Tackle one room at a time, or even just one corner of a room. Celebrate the small victories. Every cleared-out drawer is a step toward the lighter, simpler life you're creating. Now, let's talk about the emotional side of all this. Because no matter how practical we try to be, downsizing stirs up feelings, nostalgia, sadness, even guilt. Maybe you're looking at your children's old toys or your late spouse's belongings and thinking, how can I possibly let this go? Here's what I want you to remember. Holding on to an object isn't the same as holding on to a memory. Those moments, those people, they live in your heart, not in the things they left behind. If it helps, take photos of items before you part with them. Create a digital scrapbook or write down the stories behind them. That way, you keep the meaning without the clutter. And while we're on the subject of emotions, let's address something important. It's normal to feel a mix of excitement and grief during this process. You might have moments of doubt, wondering if you're doing the right thing. That's completely natural. Change is hard, even when it's good for us. But think back to your why, the reasons you started this journey. Maybe it was for more freedom, less stress, or the chance to focus on what really matters now. Keep that vision close and let it guide you through the tougher days. Now, as you start to see progress, as your home begins to feel lighter and more manageable, you'll likely notice something unexpected, a sense of relief. That's the magic of downsizing. It's not just about creating physical space. It's about creating mental and emotional space too. Suddenly, there's less to clean, less to worry about, and more room, literally and figuratively, for the things that bring you joy. Whether it's a hobby you've always wanted to try, more time with grandkids, or just the peace of sitting in a clutter-free room, that's the gift you're giving yourself. So, where do we go from here? Well, now that you've sorted through your belongings and started letting go, it's time to think about the next big step, making the move, whether that's to a new home or simply a more streamlined version of your current one. And that's exactly what we'll talk about next. How to plan the transition so it feels smooth, not stressful. Because this isn't just about moving things out. It's about moving forward. And trust me, the best is yet to come. You've done the hard work, sorted through a lifetime of belongings, made tough decisions, and let go of what no longer serves you. Now comes the exciting part. Stepping into your new, simplified life. Whether you're moving to a smaller home, a retirement community, or just creating a more intentional space where you are, this is where the real transformation happens. Let's start with the practicalities of the move itself. If you're relocating, the key is to plan ahead, but not so far ahead that it feels overwhelming. Start by creating a timeline. Give yourself at least a few weeks, if not months, to handle everything without rushing. Enlist help where you can. Family, friends, or even professional movers who specialize in downsizing transitions. They've seen it all and can take so much of the stress off your shoulders. When packing, think about your new space. Measure rooms and doorways if possible, so you know exactly what furniture will fit. This is also a great time to rethink how you want your new home to function. Maybe you've always dreamed of a cozy reading nook by the window, or a kitchen with just enough space to cook without feeling cramped. Now's your chance to design a home that truly supports the way you live now. And here's a little secret. Moving isn't just about transporting boxes. It's about setting up your new life for ease and joy. Unpack the essentials first. Your favorite coffee mug, that comfy chair, the photos that make you smile. Surround yourself with the things that make a space feel like yours right away. The rest can wait. There's no prize for unpacking everything in a day, and taking your time means you can arrange things just the way you want them. Now, let's talk about something that doesn't get mentioned enough. The emotional side of settling in. Even if you're thrilled about this change, it's normal to feel a little disoriented at first. A new home doesn't feel like home overnight. Give yourself grace during this adjustment period. It might take a few weeks to find your rhythm, and that's okay. Stick to small routines, your morning coffee ritual, an evening walk around the new neighborhood, to anchor yourself as you get comfortable. And don't be surprised if, after the move, you feel a mix of emotions, relief, nostalgia, even a bit of doubt. That's all part of the process. But here's what I've seen time and again with folks who've downsized. After the initial adjustment, they start to notice the benefits. Less time spent cleaning means more time for hobbies or visits with loved ones. Lower utility bills and maintenance free up money for travel or treats. And perhaps most importantly, the mental clarity that comes with a clutter-free space is priceless. One of the biggest gifts of downsizing is the way it shifts your perspective. You start to realize how much of your energy was tied up in stuff. Things you didn't use, didn't need, but felt obligated to keep. Now, you get to focus on what truly enriches your life. Maybe it's finally taking that painting class, joining a book club, or just enjoying lazy Sunday mornings without a to-do list hanging over your head. That's the freedom you've created for yourself. So, as we wrap up, let's revisit those 5 steps that got you here. Clarifying your why, starting small, making intentional choices about what stays and goes, planning a stress-free transition, and now, embracing your new chapter. You didn't just clear out a home, you created space, for peace, for joy, for whatever comes next. And remember, this isn't about having less. It's about making room for more. More of what matters. More of what makes you feel alive. Whether you're 60, 70, or beyond, it's never too late to design a life that feels light and full of possibility. So, here's to your next adventure. To mornings that feel easier, days that feel richer, and a home that's exactly the right size for the life you want to live. If this resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. What was the hardest thing to let go of? What are you most looking forward to in this new chapter? And if you found this helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more tips on living well at any age. Thank you for letting me be part of your journey. Now go enjoy that beautiful clutter-free view. You've earned it.